Wait a minute. Who's there?
What's going on, guys? It is good to be back. Did you miss me?
Wait, who is this talking right now?
This is your boy Peter.
Bullshit. This ain't Peter.
I just got back from Vegas celebrating my brother Jack's bachelor party, but Vegas decided to keep my voice. So it's just me here today, guys. But
who is this? And what have you done to my roommate? What have you done to him? Where's he at?
I know. It was a very, very fun weekend. Hey, first off, guys, it's been a minute. I have missed checking in with you guys every week. Dusty, I've missed chatting it up. I've had probably the busiest month of my life, or month and a half of my life. So if you guys are getting any updates, you know I was training for the new airplane, the 787, dream come true of mine. So I was training all of March. Just finished up my first training flight and have a very special flight coming up this Wednesday with my dad flying his retirement flight. The whole reason I came to United, the whole reason I did everything, all coming together this week. So obviously we'll have many things to talk about in regards to that. We'll have an whole episode on it. But anyways, guys, it's good to be back. I've missed you.
Welcome back, buddy. It's been, happy to have you back. We've been holding it, me and Emma. Clay's been helping us out as well. But yeah, good to have you back and ready to get the ball moving. I don't know if you knew this, though. We've been putting out content for almost 1 year on the podcast.
1 year, man. Damn, that's nuts.
What's your highlights? 1 year. What's your highlights?
Highlights,
what's that mean to you? Me and Emma already talked about this. You tell us.
I just think it's cool. We've kind of created this little family of ours that never really ever would have thought we would have had. I remember this idea came sitting in our kitchen when you just moved in with me there in the new spot in New York, and you brought the idea up, and just, man, everything that's happened in that year and us having zero idea of what the hell we were doing, trying to figure this out, then kind of getting the hang of it, and then, getting the ball rolling with Emma and Brett, and just kind of creating this family, like I said, our third roommates, and just, and the page growing in that regard, and, seeing people out and having them bring up the show to us, like that's just, to me, has been so cool, and that people have enjoyed it and gotten value from it. And yeah, it just makes me really happy that people care to listen to us just kind of BS here a couple times a week, and they enjoy it. So I just, this all goes back to everyone else, and just very appreciative and very grateful. So thank you guys for letting us do this for a year.
Thank you guys so much. So we have I'm going to go ahead and rush this a little bit. So Trip is, getting a little older, and I'm like his nursing home nurse, and he just got up from his nap, and I know exactly what this means. He has to go use the restroom, or I'm going to be cleaning up piss.
Dusty, you need to go on like a 2-month vacation, man, after all that you have done for Trip and I. I get a lot of DMs. It's so funny. I get a lot of DMs from people, and they're like, how are you a pilot, first off, and how are you never home because of Trip? And this is, guys.
It's me, guys. I'm the nanny.
First off, the fact that you guys invest so much into Trip's well-being and trying to understand who's taking care of him, honestly, it means the world. So thank you. I will say, I do have my Furbo that I have plugged in, so I am always watching him. I'm always talking to him throughout the day when I'm not there. But shout out to Dustin, Roommate of the Year Award, Friend of the Year Award, and Dog Nanny of the Year Award.
Hey,
Dustin Kendrick, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate it, Mr. Weber, but like I said, Trip doesn't wait for anybody. He's going to go out. Guys, we have a great show for you. We have our special guest, Tammy, on right now. It's going to be great. I'm not joking. I got to take him out right now. You guys got to finish.
I'll finish this. Guys, I'm losing my shit right now because Dustin's not messy. This is not a joke. Anyways, so I'm actually back in LA. That's why I'm not in New York. Like I said, I just came back from Vegas for my brother's bachelor party, and my dad's trip starts out of LA on Wednesday night. So that's why I'm here. But we have a very fun guest coming on the pod today. Probably someone that maybe you wouldn't have expected. My very first ex, if you will, from the show. Tammy is joining us, and hey, there he is. The dog nanny is back.
He's letting it go right now. That boy could go.
He is draining it. He can. He does good for a 17-year-old. Anyways, I'm filling everyone in. We have Tammy on the pod today. And this is fun because Tammy and I have obviously some history. And I want to say mostly good history, but I guess you guys will have to listen to the rest of this to see if we've squashed it all, where we stand. Stoked for you guys to be back. Let's get into it.
Tammy, welcome to the podcast.
Guys, this is a very big podcast for us. Tammy, you are our very first guest from the show, or from our season, I guess. Not from the show, from our specific season.
Okay, nice. I'm honored.
She's the first ex-girlfriend of yours to come on here.
Man, this is there we go. We're that's a little awkward, a little uncomfortable, but it's good to have you on. You said something when we were just about to get started that you were wondering if I still hated you. I have never hated you.
Wait, there's beef? There's beef?
There was beef.
What beef are you specifically referring to?
I thought we were good, and then you posted a picture of your brother getting engaged. And I said, this could have been us, but you planned. Obviously, it's a joke. You would have never ended up with me. It was so funny. And then he unfollowed me, and I'm like, ooh, okay, that hurt a little bit.
You know what it was?
Pete, what's up? That was funny, man.
All right, listen. I look back on it now, and now it's a couple months removed from there. And so, yeah, that is funny. And props to you. Maybe I was a little bit dramatic. I feel like, not that I'm trying to defend myself, but I feel like it took a while for me to want to feel comfortable again following, any of the women after that whole experience. And I don't remember specifically like when I started doing that again, but I remember, I started following you again. And I was like, no, Tammy's chill. Like I like Tammy. I know it obviously didn't work out on the show, but Tammy's chill. And then I don't know why that comment just like triggered me. And I'm just like, no, like I'm not putting up with that. I'm not putting up with that. And
I'm sorry, Peter. I'm sorry that hurt your feelings.
Hey, it's all good. That was a little dramatic. I can admit. So you know what?
Are we all made up now? Are we all made up?
I'm going on Instagram
we
right now.
We officially made up.
I'm going on Instagram right now, and we're making it Insta official.
Perfect.
Boom.
That was pretty funny.
I know. I thought that was so funny.
I know, guys. It's true.
We all knew you were not going to end up with me. Come on. It was funny.
All right. Well, this is kind of cool. This is different. We obviously share a very familiar experience. I'm sure you've probably talked about this many, many times, but what got you to take a chance on the show and apply it? And maybe specifically for my season, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I know, the process starts a couple months in advance, maybe, a couple years in advance, but what got it started for you?
Actually, one of my coworkers nominated me. We were just joking around one day at the office. She's like, you'd be really good for The Bachelor. And I'm like, I've never seen this show. Like, real people don't actually get cast for these things. And then I went into like a deep dive of like, I watched Hannah's season, I watched all the previous seasons, and I'm like, oh, I know how production works. Peter's definitely going to be The Bachelor. I'm going to go for it. I got a call, and then the rest is history.
Did you, during the interview process, because watching you on Peter's season and on Paradise, you're the type that kind of just speaks your mind. Like, you don't hold back, really. You're just like, if it's there, it's coming out. Did you tell them that? Like, you're like very, hey, what you see is what you get. I'm not holding back. If it's fiery, it's fiery. If it's good, it's good.
I don't even remember what I said. I think my personality is very strong, very alpha female. I think that just really came across during my entire casting experience. But maybe I did say I'm very forward and opinionated. Maybe that's why they cast me.
Right off the bat, I saw that. But I mean, I love that quality about you. I thought it was great. I hope you never lose that. I don't think you will. If I look back on it now, my first good, like solid memory, just kind of one-on-one with you, I would say was, so we went on the that flying date out in Camarillo, that was pretty fun. I don't know if you had fun doing it. I had fun watching it.
No, it was fun.
She's like, no, but I remember then, and then we had a sit down there, went to the Four Seasons Hotel, and I just remember right off the bat, you stood out to me. I don't know if I've ever met such a driven individual like you. Just, you're immediately just listing all the, amazing accomplishments you had accomplished at such a young age. To me, it was like you had like 6 jobs at once. I'm like, how does she have this time to do that? But it was
hustler.
Yeah, it stood out to me like right off the bat. And that was like my first good memory, is the Four Seasons there, little sit down. And yeah, we let's see. Let's go through some of those weeks.
The first and only good memory that we have.
The first what?
The first and only good memory that we have.
Oh, don't say that.
But let's cut through, because he said, like, and I see on your social media, like, you are like a hustler. You have like so many. And I relate to that, because I have like who knows how many jobs as well. So let's talk about who you are and the jobs you do and why you're so driven before we get more into Bachelor Nation.
So yeah, I think I'm the only person in Bachelor Nation that still kept all of her 6 jobs. I still do every single thing that I did before the show. So I do real estate, insurance, marketing, I bartend. I also do some commercial acting and modeling, and I think that's it, right? I invest in real estate and I flip properties, so...
That is so commendable. Remind me, you were out in Syracuse, right, when you started the show?
Yep. Born and raised in Syracuse, and now I live in Syracuse, LA, and Tampa. But I think from a young age, I went through a lot of crappy situations. My parents left me when I was 14. I was basically homeless, and I just decided at that moment in my life that I deserved a better life, and I'm going to work towards it. And that's why I did so many things at once, because I'm like, I'm going to do every opportunity that I can to make sure that I'm never at this lowest point ever again.
I love how you took that negative and turned into a positive, and yeah, that's amazing.
You've been on your own since you were 14.
On and off, yeah. Technically, I got kicked out again at 17, and that was the last straw. So then I moved out. A lot of things happened, a lot of mistakes, but I'm kind of happy that it happened to me that way, because it drove me to be the person that I am.
Wow. I don't think I knew that, actually. I don't think we ever talked about that. Damn, if that's not inspirational, I don't know what is. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's just some, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, that's amazing. That's crazy.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
I'm just curious. Where out in, do you bartend out here in LA?
I don't. When I'm in LA, I mainly do like events, PR things, social media. I bartend at a bar in Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
So I run the bar there, and I've been there for 7 years.
Gotcha.
Peter's trying to become a bartender. He needs some bartending lessons.
I'd be the
I can teach you.
absolute worst bartender in the world. I wish I would have like taken classes back in the day, but yeah, Dustin actually does a little bit of that in New York. So you guys should, next time you're out in New York, you got to come. We have like our go-to kind of neighborhood bar overlook. Dustin bartends there a couple nights a week. So you should come and make a little appearance.
Wait, that'd be so much fun.
It's a good time. This bar is just, I can't even count the stories that we've experienced there, and it's just like you never know who's going to pop in.
We moved there right as the pandemic, when it wasn't starting, it was like in the middle towards coming out the end. It almost became kind of like a speakeasy, but it was insane. It was a hell of a lot of fun. But if you're ever in the area, you got to definitely make an appearance.
Yeah, I'm out in New York a lot because I do real estate out there in Manhattan too, and it's only a 20-minute flight, so maybe I'll come pop in for a drink.
Oh, hell yeah.
What kind of real estate for Manhattan?
I do commercial and residential.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, these residential prices, Manhattan's lost its fucking mind. I hear all these stories about like rent is jumping over $1,000. That's insane.
I know.
Insane.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
it's been a tough time for everyone in real estate for the last 2 years, I feel like.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. It's insane.
All right, it's time to get into some of the iconic Tammy moments, and we're going to get your take right here live on the pod. All right, so when you originally went on the show, apparently it took you a while to tell your mom. How did that convo go?
I didn't tell her at all. I didn't tell anybody.
You didn't tell any of your family you were going on?
You just disappeared?
Yeah, but that's normal for me. I mean, everyone just knows that I'm just doing my own thing, so it's not something weird that I would go off the grid for a couple months.
Did any of your friends know?
No, I told everyone, including all of my jobs, that I was going on a mission trip with my church, and I'll be gone for 2 months.
That's some missions trip.
Yeah, the mission of a century.
That's funny.
That's a great thing to tell your employers, though, because I mean they can't really get mad at you. You could take a leave of absence. So
yeah, they were pretty flexible with it. But yeah, I didn't tell anybody until like the very last day. I was having like a mental breakdown, and I called my sister, and I'm like, I'm going to film for The Bachelor. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like crying. I'm getting drunk by myself, like cooking pasta. It was a tough time.
Oh my God. Damn, that's crazy. You put all that on yourself without telling anybody. That's nuts.
So I'm surprised no one put you on a milk carton. Just like Tammy. Where's Tammy at? She's been missing. What the hell?
I'm on a mission trip.
That's true.
This is true.
She's doing good for love.
All right, so you were eliminated on a 2-on-1 with Mykenna,
Yeah.
which we've all come to learn was a result of a ton producer manipulation. Correct? I don't know.
Can we say that?
Hey, listen,
okay.
we're saying whatever we want to say.
Yeah.
I'm off contract, baby. I mean, everything goes at this point.
Believe me,
You're
I
out
know, and
contract,
we're gonna
we're
get to
out.
that later. We're off contract too, so not that it really means anything these days.
Yeah, it's all good. So after all that was said and done, how did it make you feel to be made out as the villain?
I was a villain for like a brief moment, I want to say. People will still consider me like the villain.
Before we get there, because now this is triggering some memories. that was in Chile, I remember, with the Mykenna. I remember my whole thing. I don't think I ever asked you, or never had the opportunity to really ask, what the hell was that whole thing about Kelsey and Pill Popper and all those accusations? That to me just seemed like, I don't know. Again, I never had the chance to talk to you about this, but like I was always being fed.
I tried to explain it to you, and you were not listening to me because I don't think you liked me that much. And I'm like, this man's not listening to anything that I'm saying. He thinks that I'm lying. But
Well, because I literally, you
to be fair,
have to understand, I had every single person with a different take, a different opinion of it all. And it's just like, and then of course, you hear from the producers, that's the majority of it. So I want to give you the floor again to explain it just so I can finally understand where that all came from.
Okay, let's see. Take a seat, guys.
I'm taking my tea from my throat right now. Let's go.
So let's start with the Kelsey stuff. I never called her a pill popper. I want to make that very blatantly clear. I would never say that about somebody. What happened was I overheard Victoria P talking to a producer saying, I think she's on medication. She should not be drinking. Like that from a medical standpoint. I'm like, aren't you a dermatologist? Whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I'm telling all the other girls, I'm like, hey, I don't know if she's just probably getting more drunk because she's on medication. I'm not sure. So that's when this whole pill popping thing, I don't know where that phrase came from, but that did not come from me. I did not even assume that she was on any medication until Victoria P told me something, because she pulled me aside afterward after she talked to the producer. She goes, we need to do something. Like, this isn't good. Like, I don't want to get my license revoked or whatever, yada, yada, yada. I did say that I concerned to you that she was showing signs of what my ex-boyfriend showed because my ex-boyfriend is an alcoholic, and that's where that word came from. I tried to make it very clear with you. I was not calling her an alcoholic whatsoever. I just said when people are very emotional and they tend to gravitate towards alcohol, they seem to be more distraught than normal, and she was very distraught. But a handful of girls got cut off in Costa Rica at the bar, and she was just one of them. I'm like, this is triggering things for me. Like, I went through a very traumatic experience with my ex-boyfriend, paying for his DWIs and all that jazz. So it was a lot for me. And I was trying to elaborate to you my past relationship. And I was bringing up the example of my concern for Kelsey. So I guess that's where it commingled I called her an alcoholic and pill popper, but I never intended that to be what I was trying to tell you whatsoever, or come at her character like that, But then, because I remember you told me when I pulled you for the rose ceremony in Costa Rica, I said I wasn't trying to put her under the bus or, say anything ill about her. And you were like, were you though? Like, technically, you are. And I'm like, you literally don't believe me at this point. You're basically keeping me because the producer's keeping me around for the drama in Costa Rica, or else I would have left. I feel like you would have sent me home in Costa Rica. And then it transferred to Chile, and then manipulation comes, and they're like, we need to go after the next person, and that came Mykenna. I did not like her because she was very attention seeking. Like, even during the football date in where were we? Ohio?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland. She would be dancing in front of these cameramen who were trying to just get B-roll of the stadium, because she wanted to act out and be like, oh, how goofy and funny and witty am I for just dancing when no one else is around, just being my own person. But it was just I'm like, why are you doing this? This poor cameraman's like, can you get out of the way?
Oh no. Okay, so all right, first off, just to touch on the whole Costa Rica stuff and with Kelsey. I mean, again, I guess owe you an apology if you felt like I wasn't listening to you or I wasn't believing you. It's now been so long ago that not everything is as fresh in my mind, obviously, as it once was. But in those moments, it had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do that I didn't trust. Like, I didn't think you had integrity, I didn't trust, your character or anything like that. I talked to you and then I go talk to someone else and they would tell me the exact opposite thing. And that person would get all defensive. And it's just, that's like one of the hardest things, in my opinion, about being in that position on the show is there's just no way to vet anybody. And you're just hoping that these strangers you just met 2, 3, 4 weeks ago are telling you the truth and you're going to go with the right one.
The crazy thing is that this concern wasn't brought up to me until other girls were telling me, hey, she's drinking heavily. Like, she has red wine all over her mouth. She looks distraught, looks, intoxicated and emotional. She was crying all day, every day when we were in Ohio because I was her roommate. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not a very emotion forward person. And I'm like, this is a lot for me. I'm going to take a nap in the hallway. So I did because we were exhausted. But people were just putting these pieces together. Like, I didn't want to room with her because I didn't like her and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you guys all had these opinions about her. But when it came to talking about it, that when cameras were around, you were saying the different thing because you didn't want to look bad. So it wasn't just me that thought these opinions about both.
Tammy was just the most outspoken one.
Yeah, exactly. So I just opened my mouth the loudest, and that's why I get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
Telling it how it is. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, though.
I'm curious. Have you and Kelsey talked at all? Try to maintain any friendship since?
Did you watch Paradise?
Oh, shit.
Did you watch Paradise?
Yes. Stupid question. I actually...
Me and Kelsey are as great as we can be, yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like Kelsey. I think Kelsey's a really solid person. And I think the show was difficult for her, but I don't think it truly showed who she was. But
right. And we had a long talk about that even in Paradise. And then we just talked about like what happened just to hash it out. And then we literally became friends again. We were getting coffee every morning and walking up and down the beach. And that's why we were teamed up against Victoria P on the beach because we had a commonality. But we also have a same circle of friends too. So it was hard to like not be at least cordial with each other, but we became more than cordial. I think she's a good friend and I wish her the best, but with Mykenna, I just think we're just two different personalities.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
That's okay, that's okay. We're not supposed to get along with everybody in this world, and that's normal. I think she just holds a lot of grudges. She blocked me on everything, which I think is very immature. But again, she's a lot younger, deals with a lot of things in her younger mindset, which is fine. A time will come and hopefully she'll get over it. But I don't even think about her. I forget that she existed.
Hey, I unfriended you too, so I haven't made all the perfect decisions.
That's a good point.
Okay.
There's always hope. There's always hope for friending back. All right. So touching on the villain, being a villain on Peter's season, it seemed to have continued for Paradise.
Did it?
It seemed like it a little bit. I feel like they tried to give you like got you back in the drama and whatnot.
I feel like I'm always getting myself into drama again because I'm just my personality. But
tell us about Paradise.
Okay, so Paradise comes around. Super fun. I go after Aaron because I don't have any fear of like going after people that I want. Like I'm very forward. I'd rather hit on a guy rather than him hit on me first. So I was talking up Aaron in all my podcasts who I wanted to see, and then he obviously heard it. So then the first time meeting him, I think that was already an established connection because we were talking about each other anyways, and that went well. But I just realized you just don't know someone until you are around them in real life. So after meeting him, I'm like, this guy's really not my type. I mean, he's very cute, but definitely not the characteristics of a guy that I want to be dating. And the point of the whole beach is to date all the people that you want to, try to explore relationships with.
See, for me, if I ever did that, I would have the exact opposite mentality. I have done that. It doesn't work for me. I would pick one person, give it my all. But
what happens if that one person doesn't reciprocate?
Then I'm out of there. And that is it. I think that's why, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I think that's why Paradise has been successful. It just is my opinion, more than I would say the actual Bachelor or Bachelorette, because you see couples that they don't have all those distractions of 25 other people or however many other people. For the most part, maybe they're able to allot more of that attention and time to just one person. That's really what's going to create a real life relationship, after you leave the beach. But anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I feel like, Tammy, you're right though. You keep on, you're trying to find your person, you're dating one person for a day or two. It's not vibing out. You meet someone else and just see what's going on. You get check your options, you know?
Okay, well then.
Right, that's
See
the
what's
whole
going on.
purpose of Paradise, because why would they bring down new people every week if that wasn't the case, you know?
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
for the drama, of course, but...
Put it this
Peter's
So
way.
yeah, I
Peter's
ended
been-
up going...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, Peter's got a bad taste in his mouth for options in the show. So I think if he ever goes back, I think he's just like,
don't give me these options.
direct line.
No.
And if that doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
I want just like laser vision, tunnel vision. Okay, I guess let me expand on that a little bit more. I feel like, and you're the perfect person to ask, Tammy, because you just did it. And I know you have some possible opinions that maybe we can get to in a little bit, but specifically with Paradise, you talk with Aaron and you went down there, you know, interested in him, seemed like someone that could be your type. You get to meet him in real life and it's maybe not, you know, you guys don't vibe. But for me, like, can I ask, like, were you talking with Aaron before you went down? Were you guys conversing? Were you trying to get to know each other before? No?
No, not at all. I really wanted the experience to just be the full experience, so I didn't reach out to any of these people that I was interested in to talk, you know. We followed each other on Instagram, but that was really the extent of it. No DMs or anything. I wouldn't even comment on his stuff. I wanted to make an opinion that was solely the experience of us being together in real life. Because even if you talk to someone on the internet, it's not, when you're in person, it's just different, you know?
Of course. I guess, yeah. I feel like now that like social media is so prevalent, I feel like for the original seasons of Paradise, it was a little bit different, but now it's like, you have such an easy opportunity to really quickly pick up a phone and get to know that person, like without any cameras, without any producer manipulation, like none of those distractions. It's like, how many people are doing that and how many people aren't doing it, whether or not they admit it or not. I feel like, I don't know. I would probably want to be more inclined to say I would try to do my research and like due diligence before I went down there than just going down there blindly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Well,
then you get caught up in, did you have a previous relationship before? Like a lot of the storylines were in Paradise, you know? And I didn't want to muddy the waters whatsoever. I just knew that could have been an option. I don't want anyone to have this ammo on me saying that I was talking to XYZ before I came down there.
Right.
You can't trust anybody in Paradise.
Can't trust any of these people.
This is true.
I think you just can't keep people away from connecting. And honestly, I think it makes for a better story for Paradise. I think it makes things a little messier, which I feel like majority of people that watch the show like a little mess. I like to see a mess.
I do too. I mean, that's why we watch reality TV, right? I mean, for the drama.
You want that entanglement storyline. So I think it's good for business. If they wanted to cut that out, I could possibly see them casting new people for Paradise. Like, this is like your first time on the show, just not doing someone else's season. That could probably be interesting.
Really?
But I don't know.
I don't know about
that.
that.
Would be interesting.
Just because I think a big reason Paradise, you know, obviously people that go to Paradise are usually people that the fans have kind of fallen in love with their storyline or just getting to know them. So that familiarity is kind of what hypes up that new season even more. But hey, I mean, who knows? So from Aaron, what happened after that?
What didn't happen, I guess. So Thomas comes down. I'm so exhausted. It was like a full day of filming. And he wants no interest in me. I mean, I wasn't really interested in him. I heard from Katie, because Katie's one of my really good girlfriends, that Thomas is a like really no-go, red zone, you know, like don't do it. He's all trouble. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to vet this guy out because like alpha males are actually my worst enemy because I'm an alpha female and I'm like, I have to hold the dominance. So I'm like, I'm not going to give this guy any attention. Like, screw this guy, like he sucks, like I don't want anything to do with him, but I'm going to vet it out for like all of my girlfriends to see if he's actually like a crappy person. So he comes down, he takes Serena on the date. I heard that it goes terrible. I go, I'm not surprised. But the next day I like slept. I really thought about him. Like if everyone thought their last opinion of me that they saw on TV was my whole personality, how would I feel like if Kelsey and Mykenna, if we didn't have COVID, if we all went down to the beach and they were all talking how bad of a person I was and how crappy of a human being I am, you know, like that would suck to go into this experience with that kind of opinion rolling around the beach. So I woke up early and he didn't sleep, which I felt so bad for because he was fighting with the guys the night before. So we were up in the pool area where we all got breakfast and it was like 7 a.m. No one else was awake. And we were just talking, and I'm like, how was your experience? And we just really went deep dive on like, what's it like to be a quote unquote villain on this kind of show? Like, how does this affect you? And what I did to like navigate through it. You know, luckily I had a whole year of COVID to really work on myself and work through the emotions that came with the show. And he really appreciated that. I'm like, I went into that breakfast. I'm like, you know what? Let me try to get to know this person, see what he's about, because maybe he's not as bad as everyone says he is. And I'll help him out too, because I know that everyone probably doesn't want to be involved with him right now. And I'm like, I'm a great wingman, I like to say, and I'll like try to, you know, plant seeds with all of the girlfriends. So I was really like telling him, go sit with Mari. Like I was hanging out with Mari. I'm like, hey, like, do you mind if like Thomas comes and join us? Like just trying to like put him in situations where it was more comfortable for him. And then when it came to the night portion, I'm like, did I just shoot myself in the foot? I think I like this guy, but I think I just friend zoned myself. I've been helping this guy go after other girls all day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so not like me. So I'm going to do something that is like me, and I'm going to go after it anyways. So
My best friend's wedding.
my best friend's wedding, exactly. And next thing you know, we're talking, and then I go after him and straddle him and make out with him, and
I see you,
Aaron
Tammy.
sees the whole thing, even though
Tammy, you never did that to me.
that's my move.
What the hell?
I
Wait.
did do that to you. Someone caught it, and someone put it on Reddit when we were on that rooftop in LA, because I straddled you.
Oh, so
Actually near the pool as well.
that's your move.
Wait.
That's your go-to move. I love it.
Serious question right now. Did you know Thomas was 6'6"?
No, I didn't know about anything about this guy.
He's messing
It was
with
a
you.
joke.
He's messing with you.
I think they kept
Oh.
they edited to where he was saying it the whole time. I don't know if he did or didn't, but it was like nonstop. Yeah, I'm 6'6". Yeah, I'm 6'6".
Yeah. It was kind of like a douchey like remark, even though I knew he didn't mean to come off that way. But he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I'm so tall, like I don't want to hit this like light fixture, you know. And I'm like, ew, shut up.
That's hilarious.
I thought he got a bad edit for Katie's season.
I think so too.
I don't really think he did anything wrong. I was actually voting for him to be Bachelor. I thought he would have been a great Bachelor, but he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's actually very nice. He's one of my good friends now, so I'm happy everything worked out the way it did. But I feel like I wonder if a girl did the same thing that he did, would they come off as a villain as well? But worse, it's not forgivable because the audience forgave him and said that Katie was overreacting because he was just forward about it. But if it was roles reversed and the girl did it, I guarantee you it'd be unforgivable to the audience.
We talk about this a lot. I don't know. Our opinion, maybe not. I guess it depends on what it is. But from our experience, I think
Was there anyone, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Was there anyone from our season you thought was pulling for it, was pulling a potential Thomas in that regard?
You asking me or Dustin?
Tammy, I'm asking you, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I think a handful of girls.
Top two.
I'm not going to say them because no, I can't say it because I'm good friends with them now. I just don't want to put them
now
on the
you're
bus.
good
But I
friends.
know I see the game, you know. So I mean, we all know that it's television and what's to be expected. Being the Bachelorette would be a great opportunity if you didn't end up with Peter. So I definitely think girls were definitely trying to do that.
All right. Well, fair enough. I won't. You guys are good friends, so I'm not gonna not muddy up any of those waters.
I feel like you can tell who it is.
Very true. All right, I want to quote you. All right, because you have the most iconic line from Paradise. It's the funniest line ever. I sound like I have it right now, so I guess it's appropriate that I quote you. He had to say this on my birthday. That's even worse. Last year, I got COVID on my birthday, and this is 10 times worse.
Oh
I
my
forgot about
gosh.
that. That was
Iconic.
pretty funny.
You just
My one-liners, I don't know how I come up with them, but they are pretty funny, huh? Yeah,
That was
I was
hilarious.
so distraught because someone from Bachelor Nation gave me COVID on my birthday the year before.
oh no way.
And yeah, no one knows that. No one knows
All
that.
right, all right. You
So I'm like, I can't believe like 2 birthdays have been crappy, and I got COVID on my last birthday, and this birthday I'm getting dumped on my actual birthday. So
Damn. So
yeah, that was funny.
that's why you're kind of distancing yourself from the whole Bachelor crew, COVID and then Paradise, huh?
One of the reasons, yeah.
Well, I think that's a good segue into that topic right there.
Oh man, yeah. Go
And
ahead.
listen, before just relax you in any way, or Dustin and I, everyone has opinions of the show, of their experience, great opinions, bad opinions in between. I think the show does it changes a lot of people's lives for the better. And, that can't be disputed. And people also do struggle, no doubt. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. So I want to open the floor to you to kind of vent, speak your mind, say as much or as little as you're comfortable with. Let us hear you out.
Okay. So I have always been an advocate for the show after your season. Like I always had their side when it came to like arguments with the audience, arguments with other cast members, because everyone has like their traumas that come with the show, of course. We all know what we signed up for. It's just hard to deal with it, no matter what magnitude. And I felt like I was always a team player for them, and we were working on a big project together, and we had disagreements and it didn't end up working out. And I just felt really hurt because I did so much for the last 2 years, fighting for their side with every aspect, the racial issue, like the, casting issue, the villain issue, like that whole thing. But I think that was the last straw for me of what they did, because I just felt so betrayed and I was so hurt. Cause it was like a toxic ex-boyfriend, like I just kept giving and giving, and they were they were like giving me a little bit, but not as much. They're really good at dangling the carrot. And I just had it with them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so done. I was very emotional the first week. And then I went on Instagram and told everyone that I'm done with the franchise, which I think if I thought it through more, I probably wouldn't have said that. I definitely do think I need some time away from them. I don't want to close the door completely because they've been my family for the last 2 years. Like I've been closer to the producers than I have with any of the cast. I think that's why I felt so betrayed by them. But I think it's a good break for us. I'll tell you afterwards when we're done filming of what actually happened, but you'll see why that I felt it was like a stab in the throat, basically.
I believe it. 100%.
No, I do too.
I've had my disagreements with the show. I know Peter has. So I'm sure you're 100% valid on the reasons why you decided to cut them off. So
Tammy, what do you mean about, like, can you get into it all about production picking favorites? Like what you meant by that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm actually writing a book and that includes it.
Oh,
but
shoot.
I think that the franchise just picks their favorites and they help them excel, but they don't give that equal opportunity to everyone else. And listen, I get it. It's a business. It's production. If you're not a prominent character, there's no reason to push you forward. But I was one of the full Oriental people that they've had on the show that had a prominent storyline, but they were not helping me push forward. Everything that got me to push forward, I did myself, and did they help a little bit? Absolutely. That was a little bit that they were giving me, and they hang on to that and dangle it over my head. If you're not one of their favorites, you are 100% most unlikely to succeed. And it's just tough because at what point do I keep putting my mental health in this distress and, fighting for their right, even though they weren't going to give anything back? And I think that should be a two-way relationship, like boyfriend and girlfriend. Like I should give, you should take, and other way, vice versa, because that's what an equal relationship is. And I just wasn't getting that from them. And I don't know why. I'm definitely not like a lot of their cast members that they've had in the past. And I thought they would like that, but they stick to their old ways. And they pick people who look like you, Peter. And that's nothing against you whatsoever. It's just really hard because I can't change that about me. I will never be white, and that's really tough navigating through a franchise that really puts their white characters on a pedestal without even trying. So it's like, how long do I have to work 10 times as hard just to get to barely the same level of these people?
I feel you 100%. I was top 8 on the show and I got absolutely no screen time.
Yeah, I don't get why the show, it's like they do a very good job of like really pissing people off. And it's like, I don't understand why that's so necessary. Who's making like these ultimate like top executive decisions? Just like, that's not, you don't have to do that. Like and it just seems like it's consistent and everyone we talk to has something and the reason I asked you that first question about picking favorites is because I totally agree with you, Tammy. And I think, and it's funny, I don't know if like, I know you made that comment and I understand with the race issue. I'm totally in agreement with both of you, but you said, oh, look like me, trust me, show's not about me the show. I'm not one of their favorites. I can guarantee you that. We are, I think, one of the only podcasts that have, that is mainly a Bachelor podcast. A big reason why, you're our first guest finally coming on because you're off contract. No,
Yeah.
they won't allow anyone else to come on our show for whatever reason. I don't know why, what I did to piss him off, or what Dustin did. But it's just like, it's true. We sacrifice so much, a lot of emotional like vulnerability and just putting yourself out there. And it's like, you don't have to kind of treat us that way. Like, I'm not saying anyone here to feel sorry for us. Like, yeah, we were given a really cool opportunity, and it's definitely changed a lot of our lives. But why do you have to go and like just make it toxic at some point and just cut people off? I've never understood him.
Why do you have to make it harder? They do, like, again, we're all grateful for having this opportunity, and we make of it what we want. We have the power to make of it as we want. But and when you see them, they're just easily highlighting some people, making it so easy for them. And yet we're trying to do good for ourselves. We're trying to do good for others, and it's just no help at all. It's insane. I don't know.
Tammy,
It's tough.
do you regret the show at all?
Absolutely not. Like, here's the thing. I'm so grateful for that opportunity, and my life has definitely changed tenfold because of the show. But the thing is, I don't like that they hold that over your head. Like, I didn't have any work like put towards this as well.
Oh my God.
They said that we gave you this.
Yes.
Like, you're able to do this because of the show. I'm like 100%. But do you not understand that where the credit is due? I also did that myself.
The show doesn't
Girls
exist
like me were
without...
not supposed to make it. Right, these personalities. I was not supposed to make it as far as I did because this is before their whole racial issue. But I did because that's the person that I am. I'm that personality that is not a background character,
Yeah.
So once I felt that, that's when I had to get into drama because I'm like, there's no way that I'm staying unless I'm in crap because Peter hates me.
Okay, stop. I never hated you. That was never the... You know what? I'm starting to see through this. By the way, seriously, we got to hang out. Like obviously now past the show, like I think we can develop a very cool friendship from this because I've enjoyed talking here for the last hour, and I feel like I know you better now than any time I knew you actually on the show, which is kind of sad to admit, but the truth.
Yeah.
But it's so true. I can't tell you the amount of times I've heard that too, and not just me hearing it, but other people, like they love to throw it in your face. Oh, none of this, you'd have none of this without the show. It's like 100% right, but it's a two-way street. The show wouldn't exist.
You wouldn't have a show without us.
Contestants. So like, stop trying to do that because that's just really annoying and not 100% accurate. But whatever.
I don't know if you feel this way too, but I feel like with Only the Bachelor, they make you feel so crappy for wanting to include them in your success. So like if you look at Love Island, everyone, as soon as they are off, even during when their family members take care of their Instagram, they post Love Island season, whatever. Like it's proudly in their bio. But when we do it, it's like she just wants to have it in her bio because she's thirsty. Like even a producer told me, they're like, all these girls that left early, they can't wait to go home and put a rose in their bio. I'm like, is that supposed to be a bad thing? Like, is that not a great thing for the show and for them? Like, I don't get why this is a negative.
Yeah,
no, it's a. I don't know why it's a negative either. It's for opportunity. People go on. We all go on the show for some new opportunity. Maybe it's an opportunity with a new love. Maybe it's who knows what doors will open up. And if you fall in love on the way, yeah, that's great. But we all went on there for opportunities, and yeah, I would never discredit anybody. Like, let people know you were on the show. Let's see what doors open up for you because there's a lot of fans out there, and you don't know. Someone's got a key to success for you, and they'll open the door for you. So
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. It's like they try to not allow you to advance whether your life, your career, whatever aspect too much tied to the show. Like they want you attached a little bit when it's convenient, but they try to limit it. And quite frankly, I don't know the reason why. Tammy, would you ever do Paradise again?
Absolutely not. I would never do Paradise ever again. Not because it was a bad experience. I just think because, again, I think my success has capped at where I was. And I just don't want to be tied into like this recyclable asset for them. I think that if I wanted to push forward and be my own success, I have to venture out, which now I'm trying to do with other networks and other projects. They wanted me to come back for like maybe people were like toying the idea with like maybe me being the bartender. And I'm like, listen, favorites get those positions. Like I'm not a favorite, So that was very unlikely. And
that would have been perfect though, especially with your background.
Yeah. I think it would have been perfect. I think I would have had a lot of opinions about everyone's couples. I think it'd be great. I just, again, when the opportunity that did end up working out happened, I feel like God told me, you are willing and able, and you are so capable of doing all these things. You put in the work, but this is not for you. So it's time for you to move on and put your energy and efforts elsewhere. Because I was so close to this. and it just didn't happen. So I did everything that I could.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I guess I'll ask you, because we can kind of consider ourselves friends or get on that level. Would you recommend someone to go to Paradise? Could you ever, to someone's face, tell them that, yeah, I recommend you doing it?
Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. It's super fun, way more relaxing than filming The Bachelor or Bachelorette. And you get to meet genuine people. I've made so many friends on that beach that I still talk to. I just had lunch with them yesterday. And just lifetime friendships that you'll build from that, and the relationships that could have happened. You know, like Aaron didn't work out. That was unfortunate. But now I have a great friend. Like Thomas is such a good friend, a good supporter of everything that I'm doing. Like that wouldn't have happened unless I met these people. So, I mean, pros and cons to everything, you know?
Yeah. Does it actually feel like, would you say, more real life dating compared to being on The Bachelor and that whole format?
Absolutely. It was so hard dating on The Bachelor because you were fighting for time. I mean, how much time do we have with you? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to spill out my whole life traumas with you in 10 minutes?
Yeah. No. Truth. All right. Well, Tammy.
So would you do wait, real quick, would you do another show?
I'm working on another show, yes.
Oh, can you spill anything?
Get any
I can't spill anything because I'm not familiar with this
Can
network.
you tease it? Can you tease us?
Yeah.
I'll definitely no longer be a secondary character like I was on the Bachelor franchise. So.
Oh, shoot. Ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
Well, I'm very happy for you.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It has been an absolute joy having you on, Tammy. It's been good catching up. And I'm good. We squashed some beef.
I think this is the first time that we've talked since the show.
This really was. I'm trying to think when was the last time that we actually saw each other? It was Chile there, yeah, on that 2-on-1 thing. And
yeah, you sent me home.
Yeah. God.
I literally gave you all concrete evidence, Peter, that this person is not here for the right reasons. And you literally sent me home and then sent her home after. So that means something must have happened because I know that I was not the only person with this opinion.
Both of y'all got to go home. So Peter said. That's funny.
Because I'm not with the both of you.
I know.
Tammy, what can people, you said there's another show, possibly another show. Anything else that you're working on, and where can people find you?
I just launched my YouTube channel, so I would so much appreciate everyone support and subscribing to that. I hired a really good production team, so they're going to be helping me edit these videos. I'm also going to put out a lot more like entrepreneurial TikToks and content on Instagram. So I'm really just trying to create a brand for myself. And I think that's what my followers like anyways. I love my Bachelor fans so much, but I want to build something that's greater.
All right. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
On to big things, Tammy. You have a very bright future, and very happy for you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Until next time.
Burn the ships, baby.
Bye. Burn the ships.
Bachelors in the City is hosted by me, Peter Weber.
And me, Dustin Kendrick. This podcast is produced by Red Rock Music.
Our producer is Emma Martins, and our executive producer is Red Yoakum. Our audio engineer is Enrique Hinojosa. Subscribe and like or review wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow the show on Instagram at Bachelors in the City Podcast.
Got questions for us about the show, life, or really whatever? DM at Bachelors in the City Podcast on Instagram for a chance to be a featured third roommate.
We'll catch you next time.